Watch it. What's up, man? How you doing,
How's
brother?
it going?
Welcome to another episode of the SREC podcast. I'm your host Julio with my co-host
Robert
Robert
Barbosa.
Barbosa. Today's show is will be in kind of an update of what's going on between Pam Bondi, Catch Patel, Dan Bongino trilogy. I would call it a trilogy or three-way or threesome, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it.
But it's going bunkers on the airwave. So I'm gonna play this clip of Tucker Carlson on Turning Point USA. I I do not remember when was that the speak the speech that he did. But let me go back and play that clip for you guys. If you are joining us, please like and subscribe. Also comment down below. Join the chat. Express your feelings. Express what you have in your mind. We want to see or we want to read what are you thinking about all this Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, Catch Potato, Donald Trump allegedly taking sides on the
Yeah.
second. He's taking side with Pam Bondi, but we're gonna dig into that in a minute. So don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, and let me play this video for you guys so we get up to speed and we kind of give you context of what's going on in this matter because this is, man, I'm telling you, man, this is going to be taking forever. You know what I mean? So without
And
further
then,
ado, let's play this video real quick so we get up to speed.
Not
mhm.
acceptable. And I think the real answer is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of Intel Services, probably not American. And we have every right to ask, on whose behalf was he working? How does a guy go from being a math teacher at the Dalton School in the late 70s with no college degree to having multiple airplanes, a private island, and the largest residential house in Manhattan? Where did all the money come from? And no one has ever gotten to the bottom of that because no one has ever tried. And moreover, it's extremely obvious to anyone who watches that this guy had direct connections to a foreign government. Now, no one's allowed to say that that foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into thinking that that's naughty. There is nothing wrong with saying that. There is nothing hateful about saying that. There's nothing anti-Semitic about saying that. There's nothing even anti-Israel about saying that. I've spent my entire life pretty much in Washington, where I knew and loved a number of people, including one very close person who worked at CIA. That has never prohibited me from saying, I think the CIA has done some horrible things, murdered a bunch of people, participated in the murder of a sitting US president. It's got a whole trail of crimes. That doesn't make me a disloyal American. It doesn't make me anti-American in any sense. I was born here. My family's been here for hundreds of years. I love this country. That's why I live here. So criticizing the behavior of a government agency does not make you a hater. It makes you a free person. It makes you a citizen. You're allowed to do that because you're not a slave. You're a citizen. And you have a right to expect that your government will not act against your interests, and you have a right to demand that foreign governments not be allowed to act against your interest. That's not creepy. It shouldn't be forbidden. And yet all of us have trained ourselves to believe that you can't say that somehow, that that's like too naughty and forbidden. And the effect of making that off limits has been to create a lot of resentment, and I'll say it, hate online, where people feel like they can't just say, like, what the hell is this? You have the former Israeli prime minister living in your house. You have had all this contact with the foreign government. Were you working on behalf of Mossad? Were you running a blackmail operation on behalf of a foreign government? By the way, every single person in Washington, D.C. thinks that. I've never met anyone who doesn't think that. I don't know any of them that hate Israel, but no one feels they can say that. Why? And I think the longer that we play along with it, the more subterranean and creepy and hateful the conversation actually becomes. So I think it's better just to say it right out loud. Did this happen? And of course, that question has been asked to the government of Israel, and their answer is, we're not going to tell you. And I think our answer should be, no, no, no. As long as we're sending you money, if you were committing crimes on our soil, we have an absolute right to know, did you do this or not? And yet everybody has been so brainwashed into thinking that's somehow an expression of hate or bigotry, when it's not. It's a baseline question that every U.S. citizen has a right to an answer on. What the hell was this? And by the way, if it turns out that it was nothing.
Hold on, let me go back. Let me stop sharing. Man, what we can make of this? Because it's been growing. The theory has been going around. Like, he was Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was working with Mossad as a blackmail operation in the U.S. Not only the U.S. As far as we can tell, he was like international blackmailing because the prince was involved. They had politicians involved in that, probably entertainers. So it was a whole, scheme of blackmailing. But what concerned me is if he was working with Israel with the Mossad version of the CIA, uh, where his body?
Yeah, it's crazy that they got rid of his body, really quick. And, there's ideas and conspiracy theories thinking that he's probably in Israel right now looking at this. Yet he's, that because, I don't know if people remember this, but Saddam Hussein used to have a lot of copycat, like people that look like him.
Oh
And when
yeah.
you would remember, they would think, oh, we finally blew him up. And it was a copycat. It was a guy that looked like him. So that's not far fetched. I don't think that's far fetched to even think that. And I think what Tucker is saying right here, and this shout out to my friend Matt for sending me this, but um, I, I I think reminded me of this speech that Tucker did, and it's true. Why is it anti-Semitic to ask these questions? You have Candace Owens, who they're calling her an anti-Semite because she's being loud than most and saying this, and Tucker Carlson is saying it very elegantly. And, I think it's true, like, we don't hate the government. It's not the government, just like we have a deep state, Israel has a deep state. And Benjamin Netanyahu is part of that establishment. And, it asked that question like, what is that? What's going on here? I mean,
Yep.
Epstein. How are we allowing for this to happen in our country, in our soil, with our children? where, wherever you think, oh well, those troubled young women, they were troubled or whatever, they're still our children, and they're children nonetheless. And of course, this is why we're outraged. We need to know what's going on and on top of this. And like Tucker Carlson said, and I know you would agree, Julio, that um, we need to. The more we don't talk about this, the more it gets swept under the rug, so to say.
Yeah, it will be. It's going on that path of uh let it die, kind of die out, let the days go by. Nobody say nothing about it. Let's focus on other subjects, let's focus on Israel and Gaza. Let's focus on uh the ICE and protesters in California. Let's focus on that, and don't talk about the Epstein, or don't talk about what's going on with Pam Bondi in Dan Bongino. So it is far fetched. Like we have few videos I would like to play in on regards of Dan Bongino, literally in interview that he did like a week after or the week before he took over as the deputy FBI director, saying that he's just gonna go hard at his job, and unveil what has been covered. What he's been also claiming on his podcast happening in the deep state, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna blow the lid off. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just let it all out so people can see it." And I'm gonna play the clip real quick so people can have context. It's not my words; it's his words. So people be like, "Hey, he said it." And we also have Pam Bondi right after that. So let's roll the tape and let people watch it on their own.
I mean, I gave up everything for this. I mean, my wife is struggling. I'm not a victim. I'm not Jim Comey. It's fine. I did this, and I'm proud I did it. But if you think we're there for tea and crumpets, well, I mean, Cash is there all day. We share our offices are linked. He turns on the faucet. I hear it. He's there. He gets in at like 6 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't leave till 7 at night. I'm in there at 7:30 in the morning. He uses the gym. I work out in my apartment, but I stare at these four walls all day in D.C. By myself, divorced from my wife, not divorced, but I mean separated, divorced, and it's hard. I mean, we love each other, and it's hard to be apart.
Y cómo uno vuelve y encajas con Dios de nuevo después de haber tenido una tormenta en tu vida. Esa es la pregunta.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we caught it. Yeah. So that was him before he
But
took over.
but you
In the
see
first
how
week.
passionate he was, man.
Yeah.
Like he was one of us. Like we want justice. We want just we want to get these guys. And how he talks about Trump, how he's always there first thing in the morning, and everybody, again, to me, and I hate to be that forever Trumper guy. But I mean, unfortunately, like the character shows, not just from his own voice, but from mostly everybody that works with him, is that guy is a workaholic, and so I don't think so much that he's involved. I just think Trump is making a mistake by downplaying this, thinking it's not that serious of an issue, but it is, because we're tired of these evil pedophiles getting away from, just get like P. Diddy getting scot free. And it's like, this is not right, man. And there's so
Yeah.
many of them.
Is people will not let it go, man. They will not let it go. And Pat Bondi said this 5 months ago. I'm gonna play that clip right now so people can see it. She said it 5 months ago, and man, I'm telling you, the internet will be undefeated, and it will be undefeated for a long time because man, people are brutal. People recording everything nowadays. Let's play this clip real quick.
News right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being.
We have issues, as always. We have issues with it.
Well, and then right now, to be fair, it's raining and thundering. I don't know if everybody can hear that, but
Yeah,
it is we're in H town, so there's a lot of rain.
I know, man.
But
It's been brutal in the last couple of days. It's just been raining and raining.
But
But
back to the point with Pam Bondi. Oh my gosh, Julio, who like she seems like she's sweeping things under the rug right now.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
just
this
like
thing
this
you're
one.
showing right now, yeah, right now what you're showing, she
Yep.
is, she's like, I think she knows her days are numbered because Trump is trying to be, um, defending her, I think, right now, right? And probably because he doesn't have all the facts, and he would like to believe that she's good. And like, remember, when we were discussing, Trump is one of those guys that if you're good with him, you're always talking highly about him, or you're always supporting him, and he feels that you're doing something, he'll he'll have your back all the way. But then when he finds out that you're really disingenuous, then he'll toss you like he did with Elon. But
Damn. Yeah.
I think Pam Bondi knows her days are covering, and that's why she's doing this. She's
Mm.
um she's getting all the stuff that she can to get rid of, because once she's gone, uh somebody's gonna uncover this, and that's what's discouraging. And the fact that Dan Bongino and Cash Patel are um are basically saying she needs to go out or else we're gone, that kind of tells our suspicion that it's Pam,
Yeah.
not them two.
Yeah. I see it right now. It is like Pam Bondi, David Harris Jr. Shout out to David. He posted Pam Bondi just shut down the Pfizer bribery case like it never existed.
That
Then
is
Regina woke up
insane,
the job
dude.
and the clock is ticking. Everyone sees it. Her time is almost up, or is it? It's like you were saying. She knows it, and the deep states. And once again, big pharma. I'm when we talk about deep state, we talk about the not non-elected officials. The
Yeah,
owners of companies, the owners of multi companies. They owns more companies. You know what I mean? Those
yeah,
names
like Van,
like the food
BlackRock and
industry,
Vanguard,
yeah, the food industry,
Pfizer, Johnson
entertainment,
and Johnson.
pharma, all the stuff.
Yeah,
Those are people who are like getting scot free. They're not getting charged, and we see it right now. The Pfizer bribery case, boom, gone. She's not gonna charge nobody. So who's gonna do it? Nobody will. What I mean? And she pleasing the deep state so she can stay longer. That's my opinion. I'm just speculating.
and yeah, that is a fair point. She's probably doing this to, but and I guess in my opinion, I think she's doing this to because she's gonna get swapped. She's gonna get let go, and she's trying to cover the deep state's butt. You
Yeah.
know.
Don't be surprised if she get let go and she ended up at the board of one of these pharma
Oh yeah,
corporations.
like a board member. Oh, dude, yeah.
I'm telling you, if that happens,
The next Hillary Clinton is being right there.
yeah,
you
oh,
know.
oh Lord, you know what I mean, and that's what we are mad about. And I'm not surprised because it was Elon Musk leaving and started his own party, and now, not even 2 weeks later, we have Dan Bongino and Patel just walking out too. Like everybody is walking out of the administration.
Well,
Everybody is.
well, and I think that we found our swamp rat, for to say, and I think it is Pam Bondi. I mean, it just all the evidence is it just if it smells, if it looks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, it's a duck, man. And I think I think she's the the fox and the hen, or how I probably massacred that analogy, but she's basically the one that's we need to remove for sure.
Yeah.
If
Hey, just a quick, quick, in just talking here, and we were talking about finding more news about it. And a lot of Loomer posted this about an hour ago. President
ooh,
Trump says he think Pam Bundy is doing a fantastic job. I said,
yep, that's
and he posted this on True Social like about an hour ago. Right here, I'm gonna just read verbatim what he says. What's going on with my boys? and, in some cases, gals. They are going after the Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We are on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what is happening. We have a perfect administration that talk to the world, and selfish people are trying to hurt it all over the guys, uh, all over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it is Epstein over and over again. Why we are giving publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and the criminals of the Biden administration who con the world with the Russia hoax, the 51 intelligence agent, the laptop from hell, and more. They created the Epstein files just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton and Christopher Steele dossier that used against me. And now the so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Why these why these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? Why they didn't release it? I think if there is any there that could be heard the MAGA movement, why they didn't use it? They have the name. They haven't even give up the next page. Let me see.
Then he's angry.
Basically, yeah, he's angry. He's just calling the spade a spade, and I understand it. But come on,
But
man. If you
here's this frustrating thing, Julio. Oh my gosh, look. The thing is, let's just say, okay, let's just make a scenario. Let's make the scenario. What if Trump, or not Trump, I'm sorry. What if Pam Bondi thought she really was gonna have the files, right? And then she goes to her desk and she realized there's no client list, there's nothing because somebody got rid of it, they lost it, or whatever, right? So that's probably maybe she didn't want to make the fact that like, hey, there's nothing because we
yeah
lost it, or we have no proof that the last administration got rid of it. This is all they have, and it's wiped clean. Instead, she doesn't do that though. She doesn't say that, right? She just tries to, okay, this is what we're releasing. Boom, there's nothing. She should have either one, she shouldn't have, hyped it up so much to where it got us foaming through the mouth, waiting like little, oh my gosh, we're gonna get these guys. Heck yeah, we're gonna get justice. And then, oh, there's nothing there. And it just and the thing is, why don't just be honest? Hey, look, uh, they might have gotten rid of the evidence, so and so and so. You know what I mean? And it
yeah
probably would look bad still, anyways. We still probably wouldn't take that answer, but it would be a lot better than what it is now because now it looks like they're hiding something. It looks like they're deceiving something. You know what I mean? Or they're
yeah yeah. What I read from what I read, Trump is painting that as the dossier, like some fake, like the
yeah,
list is fake.
exactly.
And I'm like, well, you
But
said it. I mean, you
yeah, you
said you
guys said
had
it.
letters, you have documents, you have video document that we have these people doing these deeds, and now you're saying there is no list. Like, come on. What about the flight logs? What about all these documents that has been leaked with names and phone numbers in it, but there is
Yep.
no client list?
Yeah, because
How they
remember,
how they got the
Assad.
prince of
Remember
of, of
Assange from
UK on that shit?
WikiLeaks? Remember Assad from WikiLeaks? Remember,
Yeah,
I remember when he first leaked all that stuff out, and
yeah.
then uh, you can't tell me that there's no client list. There is a client list. We were told that. Why is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail right now? I mean, this is insane, Julio, and this is again, I Trump better. They need to fix this quick because the midterms are coming.
No,
And
the midterms are coming fast. Before we know it, we're gonna have the midterms in our neck, and they're gonna bite us in the ass.
we can't lose seats. We need a game. I mean, look. I'm seeing on my end how the economy is about to bust. It's about to go crazy. We're about to have a lot of work. A lot of construction is going to go on, and I'm seeing that on my end. And with this, can you imagine how much good we can do with another 2 years of full Republican and how many policies we can do, we could really drain the swamp and get to a point where elections are fair, where we can make every state have to show an ID to get a ballot. You know what I mean? And that's honestly the truth, because look at California. They can't even hold their governor accountable because they don't have a secure election. They claim it's secure, but honestly, they don't check for voter ID when you make a vote. And yeah, they'll say, well, at the end when we're counting the ballots, we'll know that this person isn't the right person, so we'll throw it out, right? But who's to say that, Tom, 52-year-old, is the one that voted, is really Tom that was 52, and it wasn't some person that got a hold of Tom's ballot and voted for him. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
again, like, we need these elections to be secure so we can hold our officials accountable. And honestly, this is why we need this midterm to win, because if we don't get that election under wraps,
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna go back to the status quo. And so again, for all the viewers and all the people that are passionate about this, should we, and this is a question, should we kind of let this one slide just for the sake of our future of our country, or let this divide us and destroy us, right? And we try to hold one part of our own party accountable, which will divide us, and the Democrats are gonna, because their elections are rigged still, they're not fixed, because we don't have the votes to try to fix that yet. And so, like, if we let this divide us, and yeah, it sounds good, it's honorable that we're fighting against the people that we elected to hold them accountable, but during that time, the Democrats are letting us bury ourselves, and then they get some momentum, and then guess what, we don't get enough seats in the, so
Hmm.
it just goes back to what we were normally conditioned.
Yeah.
So it's just, it sucks, bro.
Yeah, it sucks. It brings to a point we were talking about it last night that if we lose these seats, it will be back like you were saying, the status quo, back in square one, square zero. That nothing can be done because the left owns either the Senate or the House, and then we'd be
Yeah.
like nothing can
Or
get passed.
or they
No,
have enough to block it. That's the thing,
yeah.
just enough to, like, just to get in
No,
the way.
now that we are talking about bills and all that stuff, then we get into that conversation real quick. What would be the next bill that Donald Trump would likely will pass or try to pass in the next couple months? Because I was thinking in my head, like, okay, he has the tax bill, pretty much the
Yeah.
economical portion had it passed. He got it done, and it will become law. It's already a law, but
Yeah, it is
we
already a
have
law.
all the
Correct.
bills that have was not covered, like defense, a defense bill. He promised that he will build the Iron Dome in the United States. So that's in my head. It's like, okay, he probably come with the defense bill in the probably the next couple months, or infrastructure. Those are the two bills that we need to be worried about whether he will try to make it pass before the end of the year or before 2026 is over. You know what I mean? Before the elections. Because I'm telling you, if he don't pass those two bills, infrastructure and defense, before 2026, we're gonna have big problems because the left will not ever let pass a defense bill or infrastructure. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's why I'm checking right now, but I believe the Iron Dome did get into the big beautiful bill. I think it did. I'm
You
just checking that right
you think it
now.
did? Because I they didn't mention nothing about it. And I was like, I was trying to look, but they didn't mention anything. And I was like, they should have passed it, but I have not. Uh, I have not seen it, and I was kind of worried about like whether he gonna pass
Yeah, it
the
is in
Iron
there.
Dome.
Yep,
It is in
it's
there.
it's the bill allocates an additional. in a initial 25 billion towards the Golden Dome. Part project totaled of 175 billion for a full development deployment over 3 years. Okay, within Title II, Section 2000. No, it's 20,003. The bill provides roughly 24 to 25 billion and the fiscal year 2025, mandating funding for integrated air and missile defense, which is intended to support the Golden Dome initiative. President Trump and Space Force General Michael, I can't read his last name, announced that his first funding construction is already underway. So the dome, the Iron Dome, is on there. But as far as bills, I mean, because see here, this is what people don't understand. And this is why, again, going back to why I give Trump grace and why this is such a big deal. And I don't know if a lot of people remember or pay attention to politics, so to speak. But you know that misconception that they say, "Oh, well, did you know that the reason why Trump's administration was good was because they're basically going through the laws that was passed by Obama because it takes about 3 to 4 years, and then you see it in the next administration." Well, what they're talking about, or where that claim comes from, is that normally when the House wants to present a bill, they will take it, they will vote on it, make a resolution, then they vote on it, and then they change or add things to the bill, whatever. And then it goes to the Senate. And then from the Senate, they negotiate and do whatever. And this is assuming it passed the House. Then it goes to the Senate, and then they do whatever they do. And then they might change some stuff. And then that means it has to go back to the House. And then the House can reject it. And that could take another year, and so then when they changed it to the next fiscal year, then it goes back to the Senate, and the Senate might change it again, or might end or kill it, or might keep what do they call it, filibustering it to the
Yeah.
next year. And then so basically bills normally take sometimes to 2 to 3 years before they even pass. Okay. And then you don't see that until basically when it passed. I think it's like a few months, a couple of months, then it goes into law, right? After the president signs it. That's the typical norm. What Trump did, and for those who don't understand, he got this bill passed within months. Okay. We're like only 6 months and a few days into his presidency. So he got a bill that that's why it's called the one big beautiful bill. He got this bill that has 70% of his promises in this campaign passed within 5 months. That is insane. That that is like a record, I'm sure. I'm sure there's got to be.
Yeah.
Maybe not as far to make a bill pass into a law quickly. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is the amount of stuff that's in there and that passed that quickly is record breaking for sure. I'm sure of it. And so back to what bills would he do? I mean, the options are endless. And if we could get both the House and the Senate in a very secure position where we know everything we're gonna pass or try to propose will pass, I mean, the birthright citizenship that would be gone out the window. The An amnesty maybe for certain illegals that do deserve to be here. I'm sure that's something that Trump tried to do in 2018. Trump tried to fix the DACA and the recipients and 10 years of immigration that were here prior without records. He was going to try to fix them all for a trade to pay or fund the wall, but the Democrats didn't want that. And so, like, again, so the Bills, man, it's an open, like, we're just barely 6 months into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
if he did this much good in 5 months, imagine what we could do within the remaining 3 years. And this is why the Dems are so freaking scared. And I'm talking about the Dems, not the people, the followers. I'm talking about the leaders like Chuck Schumer and the Jeffries
Timo.
guy,
Yeah. The
you know?
Timo Obama. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, man, the Timu Obama. Yeah, he is like so watered down for sure.
You
You
think
know,
so?
Obama.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he tried to
Obama's
do two
well.
filibusters and one for one bill. He took for
Yep.
24 hours, and then he tried to do another 8 hour, uh trying to, just kind of, I feel like he just trying to gaslight everything Donald Trump does. That's the way I feel. He just like everything that whether is good for the country or inconvenient for them, they just try to gaslight and
Well,
just
and
like,
see, they make these claims that the Medicare is going to be gone. Oh my gosh, you know, they hyper they hyper scare people. You know,
yeah.
I lost my thoughts, but they try to scare people so much. The fear mongering is crazy because they did adjust something about the Medicaid and Section 8, and it's all good stuff because again, like I'm telling you, I'm in my end on the construction side. What I'm seeing is jobs that are potential jobs that are coming for the physical year of 2026. It's outrageous. Like, well, the last few years has been like maybe 20 jobs that we 20 $30 million jobs, right? That we are seeing like hospitals and stuff and MOBs, you know, medical buildings. Um, but now it's like 200, like what? Hold on, man. There's gonna be so there we're gonna run into an issue, right? Where we're not gonna have enough manpower to man up these jobs. So with
So it's gonna be a
Trump,
surplus of jobs.
oh yes, and we're not gonna have enough workers, and that's an issue in itself. But it's not a bad issue, but it's an issue. And so the fact that he put this in this one bit of big beautiful bill, where if you're on Section 8, if you have Medicare and you're an able body, like you're not losing a limb or you don't have like if you're just saying like, oh well, I have what is that? What is that? I have anxiousness, so I can't work. Yeah, that's not gonna fly, you know, with this administration, with this
Mm.
bill, you're gonna have to work 30 hours minimum if you want to keep the help and the aid that you have. And if you have so that's in there. So this because that's in there, this is what Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are basically saying that oh they're taking away your Medicare, they're taking away your food stamps and this and
Well,
that,
they
you
don't
know.
tell you that you can keep it if you do X, Y, or Z.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to me, hey, I'm an able-bodied person, and if I can't, you know, I have to work, you know, you have to work, we all have to work, you know, everybody has to work. What we're doing now is work, you know. And so it's like, we're just asking you to get back in the work field, and then honestly, this is what I think is going to happen. There's going to be so much work, right, that they're going to be forced to go find a job. And when they find out
Mm.
that the money that they make, you know, you're going to have like a huge amount of people that are going to go work for a job for 30 weeks, you know, I mean, 30 hours and work for 6 months and then get laid off. Like they're going to do a terrible job, get laid off. But you're going to have some of those people that are going to find out that, hey, oh my God, I made $900 a week. You
Mm.
know, I'm able to afford all this. And they're, you know, so again, this is good. I really like this. I really like the fact that they put this on the bill. Of course, there's some stuff that I don't like in the bill, like the fact that AI is not going to be regulated by nobody, and you know
Oh yeah,
Skynet. But anyways,
yeah,
but yeah, Chuck Schumer and all them, they're just fear mongering us to get scared. And I guess the next bill that Trump would, to answer the whole point of the question, was I think the next bill would be something to do with the birthright citizenship, as they're arguing about that now.
yeah. They were taking it to court the other day. They were talking about taking it to court, a contest of whether we following the law or they just basically prostitute the Constitution and misinterpreted
Yep.
that section just for back in the day their slave, just to citizen
Yep.
for the slave, not for legal undocumented immigrants. So that's a good point. Hopefully, he has a good track record of taking stuff to court and winning. So I'm not surprised that before his term is over, he was able to overturn and make it. Hey, this is just for the citizens, whoever, for back in the day. Not that was for that era, not for
Yeah, exactly. And
forever. Because it's ironic how the left, oh, because the Constitution said it, but in the other hand, they want to take your Second Amendment or your
Yeah,
First Amendment. I'm like,
yeah.
can you give me a break? I mean, you protect one section of it, but you don't want to follow the whole thing,
It's kind of like when they say follow the science, and then we're following the science. A man is a man, and a woman's a woman.
and then you
They're like,
homophobic.
yeah, you're homophobic, and oh man, it.
I don't get it, man. These people are so crazy. I'm like, you know
And
what?
they're
Crash out, whatever.
inclusive, they're tolerant, and it's just like, okay, have you ever seen somebody said this, and they're like, you want to know what the difference between a Republican and a Democrat is? Okay, a Republican, look what happened in the flood, right? Or no, look what happened in a disaster to a left-winging area. The Republicans are there, like California, when remember when they had the houses on fire and
Oh, the
everything.
Palisades. Yeah,
Yeah.
remember?
Okay. So Republican mega personnel, like officers, firefighters, they all went over there to help them out. They went and they didn't say, "Oh my gosh, you deserve this. Ha ha, you're a left-winging person. I'm glad this happened to you." This and that.
That's
No,
true.
they went over there, helped out. They didn't care about your politics, right?
Hmm.
But look what happened over here in Texas, the floods. What did the Democrats say?
They were
They got
blaming
what they
Trump.
deserve. Yeah, it's Trump's fault. They got what they deserve. This is what you voted for. Ha 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 ha. This and this and that. So see, that's the difference between us and them. And I hate to do that to this, but like we really would help. Like, I don't care that you voted for Kamala and you want to chop your members off. If you need help, we're gonna help you, but you guys won't do the same, and that's the part where I think it's kind of alarming. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah. This is some wild times, man. It is wild times. I never thought in my life that we would be so segregated. You know, what I mean, I think they brought back segregation from the '60s and the '50s
yeah, it
all
doesn't
over
make
again.
sense,
Like,
right?
it's just like, oh, we're gonna segregate you because you're white and black, and we cannot be friends. We will never be friends because the white people are white supremacists, or the black people are stupid. I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
why?
Yeah,
Like,
remember
you see,
that
you
New
see the
York,
video that they were saying that the black people is not smart enough to get ID cards, and I'm
or
like,
or or remember that Democratic official somewhere in New York. She said, uh, the people in what's that neighborhood, Harlem, don't know what a computer is, and then
I'm like,
somebody like,
that
what?
is insane. Like, how they say something like that? I'm like, maybe the people are stupid, and some people believe those lies too.
I know.
I'm just saying out there, some people believe that it's true, and it's not. And it's
It's
not.
just it's insane,
We are
dude.
we are all Americans. I don't know why these people keep trying to separate us every day. If not they're using money to separate us. Oh, we have we have social classes. We hate the billionaires or we hate the millionaires. But when it's time to rescue or help the middle or lower class and give them tax breaks and give them more incentive to to make more money, they don't want to do it.
No. Mm.
The left don't want to do it.
You
They
know,
just they just keep like they just keep putting their feet so we can trip and fall and don't make money and bring people from poverty and making millionaires. But let's say you're a left guy, you vote left, and you poor, and but you believe in the values of I will make my own money, I will make my own way to make money, and then you become a millionaire. Let's say in
then you're
10 years, and then the left gonna hate you because you're a millionaire.
exactly.
I'm like, oh, you love me when I was down, but now I'm a millionaire and you hate me. What kind of?
But
And
see,
some people
this
are
is
waking up to that. Some people are waking up and they're like, you know
yes.
what? They're stupid.
Yes, you just said that right now. The waking up. See, this is why I believe they want immigrants here, because eventually the Democrats, they'll grow out of being a Democrat and become Republicans. I'm one of them. Okay, out there, people that know me from back in the day, I voted my first vote when I voted for Obama, dude. You know, I I thought I was a hardcore Democrat, but when I found out the truth, I grew out of it. And like you said, I started making money. I started realizing that, hey, you know, just because it says on net paper, oh, you made so and so money, that doesn't mean you're that. Like I started learning about businesses and stuff. Like just because you make a certain amount, that doesn't necessarily mean you made that amount, because now you had to spend this and that, and you wind up like, I'm just gonna throw a scenario, like if it says, oh, I have received $1 million in my bank account, without in that whole physical year, well, I have to, as a business person, subtract, oh well, I had to buy $100,000 on equipment. I had to buy 50,000 here, 30,000 there, and then by all that comes down, and I'm like, dang, I made 90K for myself, you know,
Yeah,
but as you're a upcoming business person, that's sometimes usually the case, and some years you get better, some years you get worse. But anyways, you realize like, oh man, they're considering that person of like Elon Musk, billionaire, he doesn't have that liquidation money. When you hear liquid, like he doesn't have that in his name. He's just he's worth that. He generates that much money. That doesn't mean he's still the richest man. Like he can liquidate, which that means sell, or change it into real physical money. But you don't want to do that, because cash money will lose its value,
yeah.
uh
And
versus. But anyways, back to the point. But Democrats do grow out of some of them, majority of them will grow out of being a Republican once they start, dealing into business and stuff. They'll change, and they realize like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? And again, I'm one of them. And I will say this though, it's nuts. And I'm going to share something with the whole world and you, Julio. But I'm like, man, I kind of want to go back to the days where, because these people that don't know anything about business, these people that don't know anything about, you know, the politicians, or the way the laws work, and these people are the ones voting, you know? And so I wish we could go back to the time where if you're a property owner or business owner, you get to vote. Or, and I know that sounds bad, and a lot of people are gonna be like upset for me sharing that. But honestly, it's just because somebody that's renting doesn't understand what it is to, like, worry about the school district, what, your taxes, because they're not really paying to that. So I
yeah,
just.
it is because I feel the same way when I was younger. I was happy when Obama won because it's like, oh yeah, America heading to the right direction. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That was my thinking way back. But once 2011, when he started promoting males and female bathroom,
Oh
that
yeah.
for me that was like, really, what in the hell? And like I say, until I'm blue in the face, when he said that he would fundamentally transform America, that's what he meant it, change America from within. And he started that cultural war against Americans' values.
Yeah.
Trying to change everything, trying to break the nuclear family, trying to break our norms of males stay in the male's bathroom, females go to the female bathroom. There were none. I mean, males going to female bathroom. There was before that. It was none of that. He brought that. He brought that to our culture. And same in the military. When I was in the military, he repealed the "don't ask, don't tell"
Oh
type
yeah.
of deal. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Yep.
all the stuff that he changed it, and like in his last terms, 2011 and forward, and what brought us to now? Total chaos. Like people cannot define what is a man or a woman, and
Yeah.
now they have pregnant male they can give birth. I'm like, what in the hell is this? You know what I mean? Like, what? It's
Tampon
like a
10.
we wouldn't like when you remember the Mayan calendar
Yeah.
2012. I
Yep.
think that was True, it happened. We went through a portal that we didn't see it, and
And
like
we're
you were
like in a
saying,
twilight zone.
we went to a twilight zone, and here we are, like 13 years later. We cannot, people cannot define what is a man or woman, and we have males participating on female sports, and they advocating for female rights, for women's
Bruh.
rights. I'm like, so you advocating for women's right, but at the same time you're violating women's right by participating in women's sports while you're a male. Like,
Exactly.
make it make sense.
Yeah, I
Like, how
know.
you advocating for something that you know you're not a woman? What are you advocating for?
Yeah, like come on, you think a
Like,
six
it's,
foot man is about to beat up a little 5'9" woman, you know?
they say swimming,
Yeah.
like Miss Riley had the issue. Like that motherfucker, that MF was like 6'2" with a wingspan of like a jumbo jet swimming
Yeah.
against women. I'm like, man, and he was like number 200 and something. He was not even
On guys, yeah, he
on
wasn't even
guys.
a top five. Yep.
He not even was the top 100, but yet he came to women's sports and get all those medals. And like, I'm
And
glad that they revoke everything.
Julio, remember that bald headed or not bald headed, but short haired woman that played soccer? Um
Oh yeah, for
they
the US team.
yeah, they had a little friendly match. They're professional women's soccer players, okay? That means they're the elite of the women's soccer player. They played against
High
middle school
schoolers
boys.
or
No,
middle
middle
school?
school, not even high schoolers, I think. They were middle school because they were 14, 15-year olds. Men or boys. 15, 14 boys.
Not even in their prime yet.
No. And the boys won the professional FIFA women's team. So if that doesn't say that, there's a difference between a man and a woman,
Yep.
I don't know what it is, but
Yeah. That footage is hard to find. I guess I deleted it. They swept it under the rug or
Yeah,
something.
I bet you, yeah, Chat GPT it. And the same thing with Serena Williams, the tennis player.
Yeah.
She played boy, and she even said it straight up before even going. She goes, "Oh no, the men's tennis, I couldn't dominate at all. I wouldn't even make it top 200, you know?" And but yeah, dude, Obama, dude, his administration was so bad, dude.
Yeah. It was bad.
Um the reason that I turned, not just the financial reasons like what I was speaking about earlier, but
Hmm.
or like what we are discussing, but what got me was he would say one thing but then sign another. So
Oh
like
yeah.
he would have us do like there was one that got me so bad was the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA, that they always sign every year for like defense and stuff. In
Hmm.
2012, like you said, 2012, bitch. Maybe you're right. Maybe we did go to a portal because in 2012 he signed that he was going to classify, and at that year we were classified Christians as radical terrorists in the government. So no one knew that he signed it, and he signed it on New Year's, which is crazy when everybody's not paying attention.
Yep.
And
I'm telling
that
you,
to me,
he did a lot of harm to this country, and that's why a lot of people cannot stand him. And
and look
then,
up the Fast and the Furious Act. Look that up. That he gave weapons to the cartels known as the Zetas, which were American ex FBI agents that were in Mexico, and that's what disrupted the border because prior to that, and again, I'm Mexican American, and I remember prior to that, we used to pay a guy called a coyote we would pay to bring a loved one, and he would smuggle them through the border because he knew the routes to go where the border patrols won't know, right?
hmm,
Well, when the Zetas came in, uh, that's it. No more coyotes. You have to go through them to smuggle your family. But guess what? Instead of paying $2,000, now you're going to pay $2,000 plus $20,000 that person got to owe, or else we'll kidnap another loved one over here. And
yep,
so that's when Trump was saying a lot of the best people are not coming. That's what he meant. And again, that happened under Obama first. So look that up, people. It's called the Fast and Furious Act.
Yep, it was.
And
I remember it was a big scandal, and they swept it under the rug like as soon as it came out. It lasts like about six
yep,
months, and then they just swept it. No investigation. Nobody went to jail. They just what they did. I
they
believe they
said
did a congressional hearing, and
yes,
that's it.
and yeah, and this is their excuse. The Obama administration, which I believe what's her name, Letitia, or what? No, whoever was her DOJ, basically
Oh,
said,
it
"Hey,
was. Oh,
um, I remember I couldn't stand
this
that
black
lady too.
lady. I
Yep,
remember.
I couldn't stand her. Um,
But yeah, she was. Oh, man, she was fishy, man. It was something on her. It was
yeah, I know." And
slimy.
she basically said that we made a mistake. We accidentally gave all those weapons, the fully automatic weapons and rocket launchers and a bunch of
And
stuff.
stingers and all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah, we thought we gave it to the Mexican federales, but uh we gave it to the cartels and it was a mistake. It was a nightly operative where they dropped pallets with the helicopters. Come on
Oh,
now, when do we do that? If we're really giving it to the Mexican government, they're not going at night dumping it.
yeah, because I remember they were doing that. I think they were helping the Sinaloa cartel
Yeah.
to eradicate the Zetas, and which they
Yeah.
did. And now the Zetas became CNG, or Cartel Nueva Generación.
Yeah.
That's what they are now because the Zeta, they call them the Mata Zetas, right? I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yep.
They
Yep.
were helping the Sinaloa cartel. The cartel had the CNNG, which was the arm of the Sinaloa cartel, and they took over because they were the main ones in Sinaloa. Remember,
Yeah.
and they just got rid of the Zetas, and now they got a different faction. It keep fracturing and develop
Yeah.
this different fraction and factions of cartel, and that's what we are now. We are in like a deep war against the cartels because they were the smugglers along
But
with the NGOs.
yeah, along
The
with the
smugglers.
NGOs.
Oh my God, they make so much
But
money.
think about this. Not only does Trump have to worry about this Epstein thing, Israel, Iran, Pakistan, and India,
Hmm.
South Africa, Ukraine and Russia, what's going on in UK, what's going on in San Antonio, what's going on in California, what's going on in Florida right now, what's going on in Canada, what's going on in China, what's going on in the tariffs, the trade, what's going on in cartels, what's going on with the trafficking of the immigrants that we lost, the children, ICE. I mean, you see what I'm saying? The list is so crazy. So I gotta give the man grace for what he did in 5 months. What he's doing in 5 months,
Yes,
and
that's true.
then I mean, and it just sucks that we're gonna basically we're going through what we're going through for one thing that
Yeah,
is important to all of us.
yeah, it is true. I mean, he's doing a lot. So let's see. I mean, there is a lot to unpack, but tomorrow we are going to be discussing um, the Israel and Palestine deal. Our guest for tomorrow will be Kawa Malai, Special Forces, born in Afghanistan, made it to the U.S. When he was a kid. Great story, and became a Special Forces now. Good friend. So we're gonna be talking about the deal of Gaza and Israel and what's going on with Israel because a lot of people started kind of like backing up supporting Israel of what people has been finding out lately. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like Bibi Netanyahu, which is I don't like the guys. I
I
mean,
don't
a
either.
lot of videos came up. He's a warmonger. You know what I mean? Every
Yep.
time he just demanded our children, our men and women to fight their war, and we're like, I'm not for war. I already went, and it is a lot of going on, a lot of stuff going on. We got the intelligence agencies and meddling with different countries and topping governments and putting somebody else and dragging us into war or try to drag us into war. And that's what I saw with Iran. And thanks God, Trump did what he did. he took the nuclear sites and they were
And
done
that's it. Boom. We
because they
don't have
were
to send
trying
troops.
like Vivian Netanyahu. He was trying hard for to put American boots on ground. He
Yep.
was like begging for money and bodies. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And I was like, man, that's bad.
And that's why and I'm scared that something's still gonna happen. I mean, they
I
want
know
it so bad.
he wanted so bad, and let's see what is going on. That tomorrow it will be a live at 7:15 tomorrow night. Don't miss it. It will be a good show. It will not take long. It will just be a 45-minute interview with Kyle Malahi. So it will be great show. So while you at it, please like and subscribe. If you see this live afterwards, thank you so much for joining us in this conversation and comment down below your thoughts on what's going on with this Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino deal, and if you will join us tomorrow, just let us know too. We would like to see you tomorrow night at 7:15 Central Time. Robert, do you have anything to say before we wrap it up?
Well, I would like to say thanks everybody for joining us, and sorry about if we had technical issues. The other episode is just we're getting things under wrap, but I appreciate everybody, and comment down below. Tell me where I got it wrong or what you believe, and just keep
Yep.
it civil. And if you don't agree with the other person, I ask you guys just be civil, guys. I mean, we all like to be joking and call each other idiots
Yeah.
or whatever. But just keep it civil. We need to get back to the point where we used to be back in the '90s and the early 2000s, where we were all the
Homies.
same, man, homies.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. And just thank you guys. Thank you so much. And
All right. Thank
yep.
you so much, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. Also, share this channel. Just make us grow, help us. Your viewership is just very valuable for your time, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.